Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now when you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code DNVR, you're going to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. I am Patrick Lyons.
I am Suzie Hunter, and I am also kind of emotional because this was the last game at Coors Field this season.
I too feel a little verklempt, as it were. Rockies did lose by a taco, 13-6, which was a bummer. Final home game here. There's a lot that happened this weekend, a lot that happened on Sunday, but to at least wrap up the season as far as the Rockies go, it was a winning one. They're 41-40 at home. Barely. It's their 21st winning season at home. Keep in mind, two of them did take place at Mile High. And those were both losing seasons. So really, 21 of 28 seasons at Coors Field were winning. 7 were losing. So that's 80% of the time they win more games than not.
80% of the time they win all of the time.
Yeah. And that was a lot of the discussion, and we'll get to it all off season, all winter, even spring, even later this week. I imagine that despite the fact they have a winning record at home, they need to do a much better job of making Coors Field a much scarier place for the opponents and win a lot more than just one more than 500 as they did this year.
Exactly. We heard a little bit of that sentiment from Kyle Freeland, but again, we're going to get into it.
Yeah, Rockies did go 7-3 against the Padres this year at home. They've had a winning record every full season, which is just a way of saying we're not going to count 2020. They had a better record.
2020 doesn't count. It didn't happen.
I think they were like 3-7 at home against the Padres. But going back to 2015, they've kind of owned the Padres, which was really nice. They did clinch a series win. We'll talk about Friday's win, the big debut with Ezequiel Tovar, which is super exciting. But maybe, the biggest story to come out of this entire weekend where the Rockies went 1-6, the hunt for 69. We are off the path, folks.
I don't think we're going to get 69 wins. We're certainly not going to get 70.
The map has been kicked into the water like Mike in Blair Witch Project. How about that for a deep cut?
I wasn't allowed to see Blair Witch Project. It was too scary.
It was so scary. It was great. Check that one out. But yeah, they were down 2 going into this weekend and thought after the Friday's win, hey, maybe they can get back 1, sweep the Padres, really play spoiler here in the National League. They only end up winning 1. I thought they would have 2. And now they're 3 back of my 70-win projection, which puts them at 67, which is still 2 wins shy of over 68.5, a.k.a. 69.
And that's not nice.
No,
not nice.
That's not nice. So I have them right now. I had them at least, and I probably still do, going 2-7. They are now going to have to go 4-5, so nearly 500 in California.
There's no way. That's not going to happen.
Woo!
There's on no planet, in no universe, does that happen.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be wild, especially after the Giants just swept them at home. Mm-hmm. That's not great. Dodgers are the Dodgers. So, but let's talk about Sunday.
Yeah,
40,000 people. But before we get to the game, wow, Denver, you did it again. You ceased to amaze us, or you failed to amaze us. I don't know what words I'm trying to say.
I think the amazement level. You never cease to amaze us, Denver, because the turnout at Coors Field was absolutely incredible. That's what you meant to say, right?
Way better than I could have said it. Way better than Bud Black said it, because he did speak after. He almost got choked up a little bit, where he's like,
he did sound choked up.
Damn, just Denver is a great baseball town, but more importantly, they've been super supportive of the Rockies this whole season. I mean, the entire franchise. Length of their existence. Bill Schmidt talked about that as he addressed the media here yesterday on Saturday. We'll talk about what he said. We'll talk about Chris Bryant. Really so much to get to. But yeah, sold out crowd on Friday. Were they there for the fireworks, or were they there for Ezequiel Tovar, or was it a little bit of column A, column B?
You know what? Tovar was the fireworks.
I'll tell you what. Look, shameless plug maybe. On Game Time all week, Friday night's game was $13 to get in the door. And then on day of, it was like $36. And again, that's why you got to go to Game Time.
Yeah.
That's the way to go for that. They had 45,000 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Halfway through the game, looking out, Rock's pile is absolutely filled up. And then still $40,000 on Blanket Day, a.k.a. Fan Appreciation Day.
$40,000?
40,000 people. I told you, look, I told you a couple days ago.
Patrick's brain it's checked out. It checked out days ago. It didn't last the full season, so.
Yeah, I have a above 500 winning percentage on the words that I want to say, but there's going to be some losses.
When are we talking about the towel?
We will get to the towel.
We'll get to the towel.
Not yet.
Not yet, Kale.
We're not on towel alert. Padres entered Sunday with a 6.97 ERA at Coors. Kyle Freeland. Here's something I need to look up. I don't know that I need a spreadsheet for it. Kyle Freeland opened Coors Field, right, on opening day. Closed it out as well. How many times has that happened? I don't know. I find that to be interesting.
Ooh, that is a really, really good thing to look up.
I like that. Yeah, he didn't have his best stuff. Got pulled there in the third, 9 hits, 7 runs. It was so interesting looking at his body language because after he gave up the 3 runs in the first, a double by Will Myers, he's back, folks. He's back.
He's back.
Kyle Freeland's body language was just like, well, that sucked, but let's keep going forward.
He was pushing through.
It wasn't like, damn it, and this is awful. He wasn't infuriated. He had a job to do. Like he was going to eat up innings. There was even a point there in that third inning where he gave up 4 runs. Even after the home run, it was like, all right, he still might eat up some more innings. In the end, Bud Black did end up going to the bullpen 7 times, used 8 relievers, most all season long.
It was a pitcher party.
Yeah.
I think I put out on Twitter, I'm like, hey, if you want to pitch, come on down to Coors Field, buddy, you'll put you in.
First time all year using 8. They'd used 9 once in the second game of a doubleheader last year in like August 25th. Photographic memory. But they used 9 actually that year. So not great for Kyle Freeland. Some of the relievers did well. Alex Colomé. Look, Rockies came back in this game. And you go, you sit back and you don't get your hopes up and you go, it's the final game at Coors Field for the year. Let's feel good. We got our blankets. It was another nice day. Broncos are going to play tonight. All is well. And then all of a sudden, it's 7-5.
Yeah, we had a chance right there. We were in it.
We had a chance before Colomé give up the 4 runs there. In the 8th, they would end up getting actually, no, he gave up 5 runs there. He gave up the back-to-back home runs. He gave up 5, maybe 4 were earned. It's hard to keep track at this point, but
we lost track a little bit.
But before they came back and they got into the game there with a run in the 5th, a run in the 8th, 2 in the 4th, all the RBIs there in the early going are very much many of them outside of the Ryan McMahon home run. He hit his 19th of the season. He'll finally get that 20 home run plateau. It seems like. Which is great.
Snaps for Rymac.
That's right. But we got to tip our cap to our DraftKings Sportsbook king of the game. This might surprise you. You might not be staying on the ball here, but it's Sean Bouchard.
Sean Bouchard went 2 for 3 today. 1 walk and 3 RBI. So look at that crown. He's wearing it well. Sean Bouchard, king of the game.
He was really good, super solid. Had a 3-walk night, I think, on Friday in Tovar's debut. We will talk plenty about that, but
he's good
just
last night too. Sorry to talk over you.
No, he
but
was.
Yeah, like he hit a double that like really was so close to being a home run. So I expected big things from Sean Bouchard today, just because of the past couple of days.
I know I've been very impressed.
Yes,
and Buddy has been too, and there really has hardly been any talk about him. Again, your Tolia, Tovars, those have been the big names. We're talking about kind of end of the season type business. What's going to happen next year? He didn't really set the world aflame, kind of like Trejo did there a week or 2 back. So he got lost in all that shuffle, but this weekend he was really solid. And you go, okay, there's something here. Might not be an all-star, but it might be a very good, maybe 3, number 4 outfielder you could possibly platoon. Big league at-bats, does not expand the zone. Look, the difference between AAA and the big leagues is, probably the biggest outside of going from high A to AA. And he's not expanding his zone. He actually even said after the game, he was trying to temper his enthusiasm for what he was able to accomplish this weekend. But he's like, in a way, it's almost easier because he's able to identify like that pitch looks real good, but it's going to have such snap to it that I know it's going to be outside of the zone. So he's not chasing against guys like Yu Darvish and Mike Clevenger, and he's taking those walks when they come and really setting the table for that top of the lineup. And, at a different year, him as a number 9 hitter, that's really solid.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. I definitely wanted to hear about because I saw you guys talking in the clubhouse after the game. So I'm happy that he's excited, but kind of trying to hold it back a little bit. I'm excited for the potential.
I was impressed. Charlie was removed late in the game, Charlie Blackmon. I thought maybe it was pitch runner type situation with Connor Joe. Seems like it's just like a sore hammy a little bit. Keith Duggar, the trainer for the Rockies, we got through word from him that ultimately he's getting old. No, he didn't say that. He just said, yep, just kind of a hammy. It was funny because on that double down the line, he took an interesting route to second base where it was almost just, he kind of jogged down the first and then made a 90-degree angle turn to second base, didn't really round the bag. So obviously he felt something there. He's getting a little bit older, so hey, you know what? Come out of the game, have Joe come in there, and he did make the final out. But we got one last, and gosh, I feel like it's been at least a month since we got the Joe chance. Right? How long has it been?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
A month, maybe?
I feel like we never see Connor Joe anymore.
Yeah.
And I loved the chance so much, and I loved that people got so on board for it.
People were very much on board. Joe.
He's got his own graphic.
That was
Coors
awesome.
Field.
That was really great to see. It was kind of fitting. I looked and I was like, wait a minute. Kyle Freeland, opening day starter. Grand opening, grand closing? No, opening day starter. Does he close out the final game? Connor Joe makes the final out. Did he lead off? Was he the first batter? No, he didn't start the season. He did not start as the leadoff hitter. I was so goose for that one. That didn't happen.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
I was like, oh my God, look at the symmetry in this. Look at these bookends. That didn't happen. Other game notes here. Rockies, they hit 283 at Coors this year, 26th in franchise history. They've played at Coors 28 years. So not very good. They did hit 280 last year. So 2 of their 3 worst seasons have come in the last 2 years. We'll talk about what Bill Schmidt said. It sounds like all the coaches. Yeah, Schmidt said, all the coaches, hey, they work hard. He kind of said those exact right things where you don't get a feeling of anything. You also could see where, hey, if he's saying they did a good job and he seems somewhat pleased, even though he did point out that situational hitting hasn't been very good. The pitching wasn't why they really lost games. Defense was definitely one of those big things. That's been one of the cornerstones of success for the Colorado Rockies. But he definitely gave a vote of confidence to Bud Black, as he was here when they got good there in 2017, 2018, led that group. Not exactly the time to change course there as far as their captain is concerned. Don Mattingly, not the same case, right? He stepped down. He said this will be his last year for the Marlins. Maybe it's the Marlins' last game. Maybe they go on the road for 9 straight.
I mean, I think. I'll check the schedule, but it seems like a lot of teams might have a similar schedule. A quirk. That's the word I was looking for. Teamwork here. They might have a similar scheduling quirk. Let's look up the Marlins schedule, though. Because,
Rockies, while you do that, Rockies committed 54 errors at home, their most since making 58 in 2016. That was a defense that did feature a rookie, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado at third base. You still had DJ LeMahieu over at first base. So they ended up being pretty solid. And the Rockies finished with over 2.5 million fans, 2.5 of you maniacs out there coming out to games, an average of 32,000 this year.
That's a lot. So many fans.
Wow.
So many fans.
Wow.
The Marlins do have 3 more home games to end the season.
All right, so you just decided, hey, Monday morning newspaper, boom, Don Mattingly, he's done. He's going to take a break. So, Padres, they needed 3 wins here to keep themselves in a good spot for the postseason and give them a push. They are kind of a motley bunch in more ways than one. I think that's one of the reasons why maybe they haven't had the success we would have thought they would have had. Of course, Fernando Tatis Jr. not playing this entire year has a lot to do that. Incidentally, you don't need Baseball Reference for this. Ezequiel Tovar, who was 20 years old at the start of this year and had only played high A ball as of last year, 3 hits this season for the Colorado Rockies. Fernando Tatis, 0. Just in case you're keeping score at home for your
Padres
local Padres
fans
fans.
did not like that tweet.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh, no, they didn't like it. What a shame.
Oh, too bad, so
Kale,
sad.
did you like that one?
He enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed that for sure. But yeah, they're a motley bunch. I mean, I don't know about their chemistry situation in that clubhouse. Obviously, super diverse, coming from all over the place. But when they take the field, like for batting practice, they just wear whatever they want. Like,
Yeah, they wear some very eclectic stuff.
motley, that's it. Right? They had their tan away uniforms, or they're not off white. They're just like sand colored.
They're like khaki colored.
Oh my God!
It looks like they're just wearing khakis.
I duped someone in saying, like, look at those two guys who just went on the field to have a catch, because Cronenworth, he's wearing the khaki pants, white T-shirt, and a snapback. Also, but he was wearing it backwards.
He just looked like a dude.
Looked like a dude.
Just looked like a bro.
And I think he might have been having a catch maybe with Jerks and Profar, who had one of the City Connect shirts on, which is almost like a mint color. So they just look like two dudes who walked out, because they're like totally clashing. Some of the guys have on pinstripe, khaki pants, and Will Myers is in the batting cage with his hat turned backwards like he's Ken Griffey Jr. Backed it up with a home run today.
Yeah.
They're a motley bunch.
They just go out there wearing whatever they feel like.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Look, what we feel like here at DNVR is Denver sports is what we do. We love it. Yes. We support it. You can support us over at the DNVR.com. That's where you can become a member and get access to all kinds of written content, all about the Broncos. You can read up about the Avs. They're getting ready to start up. I mean, Rockies, hey, what happened this year? Who are the names? A lot of excitement, a lot of juice. We'll talk about that here in the next segment with Ezekiel Tovar. You can read about that new article about the conversation that Bill Schmidt had with Us Media on Saturday. All that and more. You get 15% off your tab when you're hanging out here down on the corner of Colfax and York. Whether it's a watch party or whether it's just Tuesday afternoon, you need to grab a bite to eat. 15% off if you're a member. Access to the members only Discord, discounts on tailgates, free shirt at dnvrlocker.com for an annual membership. It's where you got to be. And if you can't be here, you can still get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins. New customers, you can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Easy for me to say. Right now, every leg you add can boost your winnings up to 100%. With payouts bigger than ever, why bet on football anywhere else? To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped-up same-game parlays once per game day all season long.
All season?
And all game days. It's not just Sundays, right? Monday, Thursday night game of the week.
Yo, I've been saying we need more air horn on this show. Oh, there we go.
That's it. Shrug. So download the
go.
DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code DNVR to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet for week 3 or going forward in week 4. We're going to keep this promotion going for a minute because it's great and you guys love it. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See link in the description for details. As I said, Avalanche season is upon us. Oh my God. I love watching the videos. Ruda just put one out at their practice that they've got going on. Megan was there. AJ was there. Blaze, I know we're going to see. Their beat has done an amazing job. They deserve a Stanley Cup. We got to get to that too, by the way.
Ooh.
Because you know a little bit about Stanley Cups, don't you?
I got very up close and personal.
You did. But look, here's the thing. You can bet on end-of-season awards in the NHL, and I've got a hot take that comes with a spicy payday. My DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week, Cale Makar is going to win the Hart Trophy this year. Yes. Ooh. Plus 1,500. He's the 6th favorite, right? I think McKinnon is a little bit less of a payout, slightly better odds. But here's the thing. Cale Makar did finish 8th last year, so we know that the Professional Hockey Writers Association do like him. He is one of the best defenders in the game. We know that the Avs already have a bunch of star players, and so they might cancel each other out, but that wasn't the case last year with Makar because he finished 8th, and I think this year he's going to step it up yet again in his, age 24 season. It's unbelievable.
It's so funny how young hockey players are compared to baseball
Very
players.
Young. It's true.
So funny to me.
If you can make your debut even before you're 24, you're
24
you're skilled.
So young.
Yeah. And plus 1,500 is a lot by DraftKings Sportsbook. Pick of the week, Cale Makar to win that Hart Trophy. You were down at the farmhouse a couple of days ago. Did you kiss the Stanley Cup, or what was the situation? What was the what were the vibes like? Did you hit it off? I mean,
we hit
did
it
you
off.
exchange digits? What are we talking about?
Gave it a big smooch. I slipped it a little tongue.
Whoa, come on now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was disgusting. No, it was actually, we had so much fun. So yeah, we all got to get a pic with the Stanley Cup. Oh my gosh, there I am. Kale, thank you. Yeah, big ol' smooch. Obviously, this made me late for the Rockies game on Friday. It's fine. But yeah, everyone had such a good time. We got a tour of that farmhouse.
That's cool.
Or we got a tour of the brewery, and then we had dinner at farmhouse. There we go. Kale, chime in.
It was a delectable time. I don't know what to say.
It was delectable.
It was great.
I had a tuna sandwich. It was really
I had
good.
the fried chicken. It was delicious.
Your fried chicken actually looked really good. It was so good. We had such a great time, and there were so many people there, and that was my first time at that location. And it's it's so nice. Like, you're outside,
It's very
the sun
cool.
is shining. Oh my gosh, the vibes were absolutely immaculate, and everyone got to get a pic with the Stanley Cup.
That's pretty
People
great.
were putting their babies in it. I loved it. It was like such a fun day.
That is really cool. Saturday, not so much fun. 9-3 loss to the Padres there. Ched Cool, okay, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 runs. Ryan McMahon had a leadoff home run. That was his 18th, so he's had homers in back-to-back days. Yu Darvish actually had a 16-inning scoreless streak going into this game. In the second half, he's been lights out, 2.54 ERA in 11 starts, 13 walks to 83 strikeouts, and yet Ryan McMahon, leadoff home run, says, sorry, but you are not going to challenge Zach Gallen's record here.
No.
It's not going to happen, so I love that. Grichuk had a solo shot himself, his 17th. He's batting well over 300 this season. I don't know where that stands all time as far as home batting average, but he's been really solid. In fact, since June 17th, he's hitting something like 350. At least going into Sunday, so he's a Coors Field guy.
He's gotten used to the glasses.
I think he has been.
That was a whole thing.
Yeah, he's comfortable in it now. He's
so happy to see it.
His eyes definitely seem to have adjusted. So you like to see that. And Friday night, we really like to see it. It was the debut of our own version of a baby inside of a Stanley Cup.
Yes, the new baby, Ezekiel Tovar.
It was a 4-3 win in 10 innings. It snapped a 5-game home losing streak by the Rockies. Grichuk also homered there, so he had homers in back-to-back games. Jonathan Daza, 2 RBI triple. He's been exciting. Trejo with the walk-off single there.
That was so exciting. And everyone was so stoked for him, too.
So happy for him, especially because you go, hey, the new kid's here, the new guy's here. He's going to take your spot. It's okay because you're going to play second base. You're going to play a little outfield. Buddy said that, I think, on Friday. Actually, talked to Trejo about it, and his eyes didn't pop out of his head, but he did have one of those responses like, oh, I'm glad that Buddy wants me to stay in the lineup and play some outfield. It was like, that's kind of news to me, Patrick. I hadn't heard that. It's one of those things, that gets passed down. I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to be playing outfield.
I heard from Patrick that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, those things happen from time to time. But, he took it in stride and, had the big hit there. So I really like that, he was able to do that. It was a sellout there.
Yes.
48,000 plus. Daniel Bard shut it down in the 9th and 10th inning. And
yeah, we got 2 innings out of Bard.
yeah, that was pretty special. And
we never
as we
get
said,
that.
No, Bouchard had the 3 walks, so that was nice. Drawn 13 walks as of Friday. I think he's added a couple more since then. Most by a Rocky in franchise history through their first 15 major league games with a plate appearance. So, basically, he's now the most patient rookie to ever play for the Rockies. How about that?
Well,
Patience.
I'm truly not surprised because he is a Taurus.
He might win, and we have to talk about this.
Kel's doing this over in the... I can't do his arm motions because I have a microphone in the way, but Taurus fam.
We've got a lot of awards to give out when the season is over, and I don't think Sean Bouchard will be a fan favorite, but he should be, because if anyone has patience on the playing field, we've established it's Sean Bouchard.
Yeah.
But Rockies fans, also very patient.
So patient.
I mean... You'd rather not to be. Like, almost when you say that someone's patient, it can be a good thing in some circles, and other times you go, hey, stop being patient. Like, get in there. But, I mean, fans, we can only do so much, right? Like, you can't force anything.
No.
No.
Unless we hostile take over the team, get a GoFundMe going, buy it.
Good luck with that.
You know what?
No, right.
I think I've talked about it on the show before.
You know what? But I like it. You're thinking. You're trying to get ahead of it.
But
maybe
like,
just a little
to your
bit.
point, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. So hey, Sean Bouchard, he represents the fans. Ryan Feltner also did well. 5 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs. He's kind of dominated the Padres this season. He's held them to a 3.68 ERA. Okay, maybe that's not dominating, but not bad for a rookie pitcher. There were 5 rookies in the lineup. Alan Trejo no longer has rookie eligibility, which shamefully I only learned recently. Has something to do with service time and how long he was up on the roster late last year. So I thought it was 6, but 5 started. The franchise record, or at least the most recent time, was 7 rookies was in a lineup back in 2012 against the Dodgers.
Oh, wow.
LeMahieu and Charlie Blackmon were actually in that lineup. How cool is that?
Oh my gosh.
And
that warms my heart. I'm like shocked by this information.
yeah, and Trejo, though not a rookie, we know he's got he's very light on the service time, if you will. You had an infield of Montero, Tovar, Trejo, and Tolia. I did the math. Their age averages to 23 years and 129 days, an average of 4 different dudes. That's young. Yes.
That is so young.
That's crazy, crazy young.
That makes me feel old. That's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of us feel young. And as we said, he was born after 2000.
You've pulled some shocking information in this show already.
Well, Ezekiel Tovar was shocking. I mean, again, if you blink, you would have missed it because his first 2 at-bats, it almost couldn't have gone any better. You go, all right, well, you hit a grand slam in your first 2 at-bats. All right, stop. But other than that, his first 2 at-bats could not have gone any better.
Yeah, got hits.
2 hits.
2 hits.
On 2
hits on
pitches.
2 pitches.
Not each, 1 each. So he goes 1 for 1 there, slaps a single back up the middle. It was awesome. Got a nice round of applause by the Coors Field faithful. A lot of people were paying attention. They were aware of the situation that was going on. First guy to do that since Peter Lambert, and everyone chuckled like, a pitcher?
Peter Lambert?
Yes, and his major league debut, he singled against the Cubs. I think it was actually at Wrigley Field in 2019. And I think in his 3rd and 4th game, he had 2 hit efforts. Like he was our Shohei Ohtani there for a minute back in 2019. Where you're like, this kid can hit too? He might not have even worn batting gloves. Like he was special there for a minute. If you know, you know. You definitely remember that. And then in his second at-bat, first pitch, singles. Turns out it only happened one other time last year by a pitcher in the American League. So Dylan Cease, he probably hasn't even hit that much to begin with. As it happens, we've only had pitch tracking since the year 2000. So we don't know if it's ever happened before then. I would venture a guess and say yeah. But officially, Ezekiel Tovar, only player in Rockies history, 2 at-bats, first 2 at-bats in his major league debut, 2 base hits. Wow.
Listen, the new baby is doing a great job.
Amazing job. I love that. Actually, turns out what's funny is, so you go, well, I'm not too enticed by this Peter Lambert getting a single business there in his first at-bat. How about give me a position player? It was the first time for a position player since 2006, a gentleman named Alvin Colina. Name looked vaguely familiar. Otherwise, no idea who this gentleman was. But he's a Venezuelan-born catcher. So they're both from Venezuela.
Interesting.
Tovar and Colina. On his baseball reference page, he's listed as a pinch hitter and catcher because he debuted as a pinch hitter. That's how he got his hit. Started about a week later behind the plate and went 0 for 4, and that was his career. Oh. That's it. So got a base hit.
Oh, that makes me so
on the
sad.
first pitch, and that's been it. Like that's how much you need to enjoy these debuts and these journeys from guys.
You never know.
It's crazy, and that kind of parallels. I wouldn't say nicely because it could be very sad. We had Noah Davis come up in Chicago on Friday. He was there with the Dunkin' Donut boys. Haven't heard that be used yet, but we may need to refer to them.
I do. It works
Dunkin' Donut dudes.
It works on so many levels, too, because those dudes also played at Dunkin' Donuts Park when they were yard goats.
They kind of were. They were
You
triple
know?
Ds, yeah.
So the Dunkin' Donuts
dudes
dude. But yeah,
and the boys
so sad that we never got to see an appearance from Noah Davis.
didn't play. So got called up, according
He
to some
warmed up
people.
a couple of times.
He learned how to get on a major league plane. We were told that was an important thing.
Yeah, that was. Was that a joke?
We'll get to that. No, not really. But once Alex Colomé came off the bereavement list, Noah Davis got sent down to AAA. So they still have no, they don't have a week. I think they only got 3 more games. I think they might play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe just Tuesday, Wednesday. So maybe he'll make his AAA debut. So he was around. Gavin Hollowell's pitched 3 times. He came out, started the 9th inning there. Could have 2 innings of work. That would have been nice to see, but that's just kind of strange how that works. Baseball can be a little bit cruel in general.
Yes. I know Buddy said, we didn't have the kind of game that we would put Noah Davis in. And I didn't get a chance to follow up on that.
You know when that day would have been?
Today.
I mean, you go, all right,
today.
Kyle, come on out. Don't worry about it. Kind of shake this one off. Don't break anything, but come on out. Yeah, this would have been Noah Davis Day. Alas, it doesn't happen. But you don't have to have that fear and say, it didn't happen. I didn't get tickets for that event, because you can go to the Game Time app. Game Time tickets, man. Nothing could be easier. The Broncos game, I think, has already started. I know you guys, if you're watching this, you probably don't know that. You don't care. You're also not watching Aaron Judge right now try to hit his 61st home run, because you are a Rockies diehard. If you were in our chat right now, just drop something in the chat and just say hi. So we can make sure that we can get you a beer down here on the corner of Colfax, New York at the DNVR bar, because you are a hardcore and we love you. We stand for you out there, Cameron and Casey and Irod and Henry, all of you guys out there in the chat. We appreciate it.
Fam.
But make sure you check out Game Time. We also have a link in our description for you to save. Look, it's pretty simple. You can save up to 60% when you wait closer to first pitch, kickoff, puck drop, tip off, and then in rugby they call it the, go ahead Susie, just say it so people know when you get their tickets at the
brawl.
So you can get it.
What do they call it?
It's the first brawl, they call it, to be more specific. I have no idea, but I like it. It plays, and Game Time absolutely plays, because you can get 50-yard line seats, half court, you name it. You could have gone to the entire Giants Rockies series for $6.
Do you want to know what the tickets are like for this Rockies at Giants series?
Ooh, yeah.
$3.
In San Francisco?
$3 in San Francisco for all 3 games.
There are probably coffee shops where you can't even sit there. You buy a cup of coffee for $15 and you can only sit there for 2 hours. Whereas if you go to Oracle Park for $3, you can sit there for 3-4 hours.
You can loiter for as long as you want.
Thanks to Game Time.
That's a really good deal.
Thanks to Game Time.
And of course, lots of options in LA, because there's 6 freaking games out there.
But that's good. I mean, if you're out there traveling, make sure you hit up Game Time, along with 15 million other folks who've downloaded the Game Time app and love to save. And if you love to golf, make sure you check out the Colorado Golf Association. Head over to coloradogolf.org and use promo code DNVR5 to get $5 off your membership. You get exclusive course action or access to Aspen Glen Club, the club at Ravenna, so many more. You can get discounts and offers from national and local companies like Imperial Golf Tech. Those are 2 different companies, unless they merge, perhaps. And PGA Tour Superstore, maybe Pins and Aces, not sure. We love the guys at Pins and Aces.
Yes.
We love those folks over there. So they might not necessarily be a part of that. But if you head over to coloradogolf.org and use code DNVR10, you can get $5 off your membership and learn more about it. We learned this weekend, Chris Bryant, officially done.
And big surprise.
Kale, let's go ahead and roll that video package for the highlights of Chris Bryant.
Oh, wait, we don't have one. Oh, so bad.
Was it 42 games we got out of him?
And 0 homers at home.
No home runs at Coors Field.
All right, because had to look it up, and it was going around a bunch of times. 23 times in Rockies history. So, Kale, you're going to have to keep track how many of these guys you've even heard of. And if you've heard of them, they still might not be good, but let's see how many you've heard of. So 23 different times a player has had 100 plate appearances or more at home in Coors Field. And did not hit a home run at Coors Field. All right. It happened to 17 players. So keep track on your hand how many you've heard of. Christian Adames, Alex Cole, Jonathan Herrera, twice, Mike Kingery, Nelson Liriano, Brent Main, Aaron Miles, Alex Ochoa, Juan Pierre, trice, Desi Relaford, Corey Sullivan, Willie Tavares, Yorvi Torrealba, Walt Weiss, Tony Walters, twice, Eric Young Jr., thrice.
I got 8.
Whoa, all right.
Okay.
Super fan, Kale Sorbo.
He's a super
I've been to a lot of Rockies games.
You know Sullivan, you know Tavares, you know Torrealba, you know Juan Pierre, you know Weiss, you know Tony Walters, probably Eric Young Jr., right?
Yeah.
That was 7 of them. And oh yeah, Chris Bryant's on that list.
Oh,
so you know
damn.
9. You actually know 9.
Look at that.
Look
That's
at
so weird. That's just so weird that he just didn't hit one here. He just didn't play enough.
that. He didn't. Yeah, exactly. Didn't play enough and was off to kind of a cold start in general before he went on the IL for the first time.
I mean, he did play enough. One game is enough to hit a home run at Coors Field.
Actually, that's
but,
a really good point.
But it's weird. He did say, so he got a PRP injection, which is just basically, your blood all jazzed up, shot
Your own
back into
plasma.
you. It is, yeah. As opposed to a cortisone shot, which really masks pain and just allows you to play through an injury. And said, according to Thomas Harding's really good article over there on MLB.com, that if we're in a postseason stretch, maybe I'm out there and out there playing, and I think you go, well, he should be out there for us. He should be out there for the fans and for the media and all that stuff. But you've got bigger fish to fry, right? Like, you gotta, sometimes you gotta take a step back in order to do better tomorrow. And it is a disappointment. And so, you know what? You'd rather him be that much more fresh for next year.
What's the point of him playing now? We're eliminated. Why not? He should be resting up.
Yeah.
I want a well-rested Chris Bryant who is ready to freaking rage next year.
There's a point, but it's dull, right? It's like a pencil point. It's dull. He's gonna sharpen up that pencil, and he's not gonna
Very nice.
And he's not gonna be a number 2. He's gonna be a number 1. You know what I'm saying, folks? No, I don't. I have no transition on that.
I don't remember enough about the pencil numbers to appreciate.
There's only one thing to know. The number 2 is what you use on standardized tests. What do you mean you don't know that?
Well, no, I know that, but I don't
okay.
remember any other degree of pencil.
There might not even be a number 1, but I'm going with the number play on that one. But yeah, Chris Bryant. Well, it's funny because we'll see it with Harrison Bader here for the Yankees. I think he's about to come off the IL. Also plantar fasciitis. But the Yankees, they're going to the postseason, so that's one of those things. So he finishes, as you said, Susie, 42 games played, 306 batting average, 5 home runs all on the road, 14 RBI. We'll just have to wait and see next year. He'll be traveling on the road. You'll probably see him in the dugout. But
yes, we have to remind everyone that I'm going to LA. I do want to point out a comment from Rocky. Which home game would we say was the best? Kind of broke it into a couple of comments. Which home game was your favorite this year?
oh my gosh, I
got my answer locked and ready to go. I loved the one where Bud Black got ejected.
That was a good one.
That was such a good one. I love an ejection.
I haven't gone through that Rolodex yet to kind of go back and figure out what was what.
Yeah.
The Chad Kuhl complete game 3-hit shutout, was pretty impressive. Not a lot of action there because you go, that's the whole point when you throw a shutout and you only give up 3 hits.
Yeah.
But I thought that was,
was
memorable. That was like you remember the whole game, but it's not those moments. Brendan Rodgers, you go, is he going to do it again for the 3rd time and walk it off? Yeah, he does.
That was awesome.
Montero had a 2-homer game. Brian Servin had himself a 2-homer game. The 2 hits by Tovar I thought was really special with a packed house against the Padres. They're trying to play spoiler. So I think overall that was super exciting. And I know, Susie, you were really excited for something today.
Oh, are we going to talk about the towel?
Kale, stage left. Oh, God, don't hit me, please.
He's trying to drink his water. So the giveaway today was a beach towel. But the great thing, here we go. The great thing about the beach towel is that the scene here is a ferret wearing a Rockies hat, and the ferret is frowning.
Black-footed.
And this beach towel scene has absolutely nothing to do with the beach. This is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I love this little guy's face. This is fantastic. We're gonna frame this and hang it up in the studio. Thank you, Kale. You were our Vanna White right there.
Also, I wasn't aware of what a beach towel is. Because when I think of a beach towel, I think of just a towel I could use that I would bring to the beach. That's not like a towel.
Well, that's the texture of a beach towel. Like, it's not going to be like
Learn something new.
It's not going to be the towel that you have in your bathroom. Beach
Kale's
towels are a little smoother.
Kale's like, what is this? What is this?
And they're not as good as at drying you off, but I think they're better on the sand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know there was like specific sand towels.
They're a little softer to lay on than like a towel that you would have at home.
Could one use it as like a yoga mat towel? Have you ever used a towel? Have you ever done that?
But I feel like yoga mat towels, the ones that I have are a little grippy on the bottom. So when you start sweating and you're moving, I apparently I'm the towel expert of this podcast. I love this for me. I can answer all of your towel questions. But yeah, yoga towels have like a little bit of grippy stuff on the bottom, so it's not sliding around while you are moving on the mat.
All right, pop quiz trivia. Kale, get in on this one. If Susie was a character from South Park, who would she be?
Oh, I have no idea.
This should take in 2 seconds. Towley. Moving on. All right, you got it. I'm giving it to you, Susie. I'm giving it. All right. Anyway, moving on. Did you see the folks? There were some interesting people around Coors Field. Incidentally, Kale, what are your thoughts? Bad form to wear a Broncos jersey to Coors Field to a Rockies game.
Not on game day. Go Broncos, baby.
Okay, here's the thing.
That was common. That was a common response.
Here's the thing. This is my take. I have a lot of takes on what jerseys you're allowed to wear.
Okay.
So if it was an away game, I would say no, you can't wear a Broncos jersey. But since they are playing and they were playing after the game, I would assume that people going to the Rockies game, a lot of them are probably going to try to go to the Broncos game right after. So you got to be dressed for. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it if you have the intention of doing the doubleheader.
Nah, go Broncos, baby. It's okay anytime on game day to wear it.
I'm going to roll Chaos chair right out the door.
One of my all-time favorite moments was in the 2018 season. They were playing the Astros. A lot of Astros fans were there. Not a ton, but enough. Their orange jumped out.
They were enough.
And Charlie Blackmon was asked about it. He's like, a lot of Broncos fans in the house tonight. And I just, was like one of my first encounters with him. And I'm
ironically or unironically?
This guy's funny. Oh, no.
He
didn't need to actually nod, wink, and throw an elbow into my rib cage for me to go, this Charlie Blackmon's, he's a funny guy.
Charlie Blackmon said something else funny this week.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, no, he was
you guys were having a chat.
We were having a chat. Mark Stout asked the question, so I'll definitely give him credit. You can be Charlie if you would like, if you remember the quote. If not, all right, I'll tell you anyway.
I don't want to mess up the words.
No, he just said
there's numbers in there. He did some math.
Yes, he did math on the spot. He just basically said, "Hey, Pujols 700 home runs. Give me a quote." And it's at this point in Charlie's career, with Mark Stout, they've got that rapport. We do that to a degree sometimes.
They're good friends. They're buddies for sure.
He thought about it. He goes, well, let's see. I hit 36 home runs, or rather I hit 207 home runs in my 36 years here on Earth. So I guess I'll be about 140 when I hit 700 home runs. And it's just like gold, and he knows it. That was like a walk-off hit and just walks away.
Yeah.
That was
Did
pure
he
genius.
take Mark Stout's mic and mic drop it?
No, he should have. Yeah. No, he pie-faced him. Ryan Green, our guy RG, he was at the ballpark today down in the camera well. Actually saw him on the Jumbotron there. So he did the Denver double.
Yes, he's currently doing the double. He's probably still amongst it.
He's doubling. He's rounding second. I don't know if he's coming home here to the DNVR bar. But yeah, was out at the Rockies game. He's going to the Broncos game. It's not often that happens where that lines up. I mean, you really only have 4 opportunities for that to happen as far as just Rockies and Broncos, right, when they're home. Sometimes they're playing at the same time, which has happened. I think RG remembers that happening one of those years. You can do it, obviously, Nuggets, Broncos, Avs, Broncos. And RG even said that there have been games, and I don't remember this. I'm sure it's happened, although it's hard to chime in if either of you know this, but they did. The Avs played in the morning, or maybe 12, right, early, and then the Nuggets played at night.
Oh,
anyone? No,
that's
I
weird.
mean, I think it's possible, and I don't think you can do
Is
it
that
reverse.
possible?
I don't think you could do the reverse. I don't think you could, take the the parquet off, if you will, the wood, and then get the ice to get all icy. I think you can go the opposite way, where, all right, we're done with it. You can let it melt down, cool the temperature, put the hardwood on top, and then it doesn't get as wet. But doing the Denver double was cool. So we also saw at Coors Field a bunch of folks dressed up as tacos.
Do you know
Did
their
see those?
story, actually?
I do. I want you to tell it.
Oh, well, because I know
Someone told me.
Jenny
Yeah.
Kavnar happens to know someone who was in that group of tacos.
Oh, really?
But they were, they had lost, in the past couple of years, or recently, they had lost a couple of friends in their friend group, and they were going to be hitting a milestone birthday this year. So since the friends that they lost were like the life of the party, they are continuing to be the life of the party. So they
I like that.
planned a whole big weekend. Jenny told me about all of the activities they had planned. It sounds
my
like
God.
so much. But they all dressed up as tacos for the Rockies game. And I don't think they even knew the tacos connection.
Because they're from San Diego, right?
They're from San Diego, yes.
I think there was like 5 on Friday night, and there were more today, or there were 5 maybe on Saturday. I think there were more, so maybe there were some flight delays.
Oh my
They
gosh.
definitely grew in size, and there were multiple friends in that group that had passed away. You said?
Mm-hmm.
I
think
thought
it
there
was
was
2.
one.
I think
So
it
you
was
had the
2.
details on that.
Yeah.
You had the scoop. You're right, and they had no idea about the tacos, and the Padres ended up winning by a taco.
Oh,
By
wow.
tacos.
That is, you're always finding a connection, Patrick.
I don't know. Were there 7 of them? I feel like peripherally I saw 8,
I
but there
saw-
could have been 7.
There
I don't know.
could have been. We'll never know.
We also, there was an incident, I don't know if this even went out on, it went
Oh,
out on
the
our
guy.
social media, but I don't know if
guy.
you have any details of who this person was. Someone went out and was on top of the Rockies dugout
Yeah,
in between innings.
A shirtless
You and I
man.
were literally the only 2 that caught it. We both had videos, and a bunch of people from social media that work for us posted it. But it was like, we were like the only people who saw that, and I was like, who is this person with their shirt off?
I saw some other fans tweet about that
Okay,
guy. Like
I would
people
think
that I
other
didn't
people-
know. Like other people did see it, especially down in the stands. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
a shirtless older man running around, waving to people, walking on top of the
He started
Rockies
off by giving the bird, and I thought it was to the crowd, but it was actually to one of the security people, which I thought was his wife, and then recognized. I'm like, oh no, she works for the Rockies. So that was odd.
Yeah, it was very strange. He was.
That was a moment.
It was a moment. It was way too early in the game for someone to be that rowdy.
Something had fallen like from the upper deck and like hit one of the seats early on. I was like, whoa, this day
was
could get
weird.
really wild, and then it didn't, and then it got
Mellowed out.
it very much mellowed out in a general sense. So we got an off day on Monday
Yeah.
before the California trip. How excited are you for this trip in Los Angeles coming up?
It's going to be an interesting trip. So yeah, it's so strange that there's going to be a 6-game series against one team. Just these the two of us playing against each other for 6 games in a row. Has that ever even happened before? I feel like
I don't think so. No.
It's so unusual. And of course it has to be against the Dodgers, who have won 105 games already.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be interesting. I think we're gonna be exhausted by the end of it. But I'm excited to go out to LA.
Yeah,
But first, the Rockies go to San Francisco.
they do. They do. I don't have perfect memorization of what the schedule is like before the last like decade or so. So like in '93, they may have had longer series, but 6 is like a lot.
6 seems
even
like too
5
much.
seems like a lot. But sometimes they schedule doubleheaders, or there would be a rain out, and so okay, we got a doubleheader, so now there will be 5 games in 4 days. Which I think when the
That happened in San Diego.
right, well, when that
this year.
happened, there was information like, oh, this isn't the first time it's like happened, and I was like, all right, I guess that that could happen, but it is fairly abnormal
Yeah.
because you'd probably maybe want to play 4 games in 3 days versus 5 games in 4 days. Not sure, but back before they were, the Diamondbacks and the Rays were around in 1998, from 93 to 97, maybe you could have had 6-game series like that as an anomaly, but I don't think they typically orchestrated things like that like they do now in the minor leagues where it's just a logistical thing. We're off on Monday, so you can relax, and then, you go to your next destination. You're there for 6 days, cuts down on travel, cuts down on the wear and tear of that kind of travel. I mean, there's all kinds of stories. Larry Walker's even discussed where, his bus, went into a ditch and he nearly,
gosh.
He didn't die, but it was, pretty hairy. Sleeping on the luggage racks. Him and Randy Johnson. Imagine Randy Johnson, even a young, lanky Randy Johnson, up there on the top rack trying to take a nap. Those are the conditions when you had to ride the bus back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
these guys have been through it.
They've worked that out in a big way, and yeah, sometimes you have to be in the major leagues to know how to get on a plane. And you need to learn that from teammates, apparently.
Are you going to elaborate on this? Because I don't think I have enough information.
No,
Okay.
no, it's might be
okay.
some team's organizational philosophy as to how to kind of, as they say in the soccer world, to blood some of the young
I
players.
don't know what that means.
I don't either. I need to look that up. I think it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it has to do with leeches. If you know out there, please let us know.
Yeah.
If you have any
It
people in the
sounds
medical
like
field.
it sounds like something just happened in this Broncos game because I can hear. We don't hear a lot of stuff from the bar downstairs, but I just heard a loud thing.
My stream is behind, so I don't know yet.
Ooh, I'm wondering what they're hooting and hollering about. Maybe for us, they must have us on downstairs.
Clearly.
They definitely put
They
us
finally
on.
saw the towel.
All right, let's clean out the notebook. Anything
Clean out
else
the notebook.
from this weekend worth kind of reporting on before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
Oh, how about this? So you were here by this time last year, right?
I moved here a year ago this week. So I did live here for the last series last year.
Okay, so were you at the final home game?
I think I was.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was a bittersweet kind of thing. Maybe not even sweet, but it was Trevor Story's last game.
Yeah.
It was rainy. They had to play doubleheader that day against the Nationals.
Oh my
and
gosh!
It was just
Yeah, that's
gross.
right.
And then you say, "Oh, Trevor Story's final words on Zoom," because that was it. That was 2021. You could talk to
Yeah.
the guys before the game, but then after the game, Zoom.
Why?
And it was just that's how we had to say goodbye. Choking back the tears and all that stuff. In a way, that might even make it more emotional. I mean, if you had to talk in front of people, I don't know. I think maybe some kind of animal instinct might kick in and you'll be able to hold it together a little bit better. But if you're just kind of in that room by yourself,
That's gotta feel
almost
lonely.
talking in the void, which might add to that emotion, right? So if you don't remember that, this is perfect. What did you think of that, fan appreciation, doing the lap around the field, saying goodbye to, fans, slapping five, fist bumps, all that?
Yes. Oh, I loved it. That was
Yeah.
so sweet. And even though, the season didn't go the way we would have liked, it was so sweet to see the guys, walk around, wave to fans. Still great fans. Fans deserve a better team, but, it was
They're
really
there.
nice to see.
They support.
It was really nice to see. It was nice to see them supporting. I was a little emotional, watching. I was like, oh, this is it.
This
Hi,
is
guys.
it. Bye-bye.
See ya.
My hot take has been Chris Bryant will win a batting title here in the next 2 years if he's healthy.
If he's healthy.
I don't want to make a hot take for you, but I think you might have a hot take that Michael Toglia could win a Gold Glove at first base in the next few years.
I mean,
What did you think about his defense this
he's
weekend?
so good at first base.
Wow.
He's too good to be in the outfield. But of course, we've got a lot of guys who can play first base. I asked Buddy about it after the game Saturday night.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, hey, we also have CJ Crone, who's got, 30 home runs and 101 RBI, who plays first base too. So, keep that in mind. I was like, all right, I'll see myself out.
Buddy was also asked about, with Elias Montero kind of, injecting himself here into the lineup and playing really well, that, does that, force you maybe to have Ryan McMahon moving over to second base a little bit, possibly splitting time there. We already said Alan Trejo learning a little bit of outfield, the buzzes. Trejo might be the Hampson for next year. Maybe Hampson's not around. Don't know. If McMahon's at second base, maybe Rogers is not here. who's to say, right? Like
Basically,
there's some trades.
Every guy is going to play every position next year. That is the Rockies way.
Look, the Dodgers do it, so I mean, why not, right?
Of course.
It very well could happen. I don't know if we mentioned, maybe we did on Friday, or maybe that's when I talked with, no, it wasn't, because I talked with Goodman in the morning, but Brendan Rodgers is on the IL there for the hamstring thing, so we haven't talked about that. So we'll see if he's able to be activated. I think he could come off in time to play a couple of games against the Dodgers. We'll kind of wait and see what happens for that. But again, kind of no rush. He was slumping going into this, so it's kind of weird. His April not so good, September not so good,
curve.
and so you got 4 months of Brendan Rodgers. Still don't necessarily know, what he could become. But we'll be talking about it all off season. I think
we'll have a lot of time to talk about everything in the off season. We're also going to write some Rockies fan fiction.
We are.
The Rockies made a trade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. You can be the Tina of our show with the fan fiction there. No, Bob's Burger reference.
I get it.
You got it. Okay.
I'm with you.
There was something that we did mention, but we're not allowed to mention it. Do you remember? We were talking about chess.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're not saying it. We're going to end on that.
We can't talk about chess on the show.
No, I can't talk about chess.
Too much.
Nope. That's the whole thing. We might tell you in person. That's why you got to head down to the DNVR bar in the corner of Colfax in York. We'll ask us about chess and what's going on in the chess world and how that actually relates to some things in baseball. Or hit us up on Twitter at DNVR_Rockies, at Patrick T. Lyons is where I'm at on Twitter.
And do not ask me about chess on any platform. You'll find me at the Suzie Hunter everywhere.
Hey, look, this has been fun, but you know what they say about momentum?
What do they say?
It's only as good as your next show. So we'll talk to you Tuesday.